My name is Andrew McDonald. I work at Vets First Choice. I am a finance manager, and I love working and living in Portland, Maine. Oh, Maine. I love Maine. You have that great outdoors on your doorstep. I live in Portland, so the food is terrific. I went to the University of Maine in Orono. I left for a brief stint after college, but Maine has a way of calling you back. So here I am, and I came back for family, for friends, and I wanted to live near the ocean. I wanted to be able to go up north and hike in Baxter State Park. I wanted to be able to spend summers on lakes in the middle of nowhere, and I can do all that and still live in Portland and work at a great company. Hi, my name is Andrew McDonald, and I work at Vets First Choice. You can find your Maine job at liveandworkinmaine.com.
Meet the newest member of the MaineLife team. This, my friends, is Rico Stelvio, the Italian stallion I've been waiting for. He's quite the catch. Reliable, edgy, and perfectly proportioned with a strong core. He has a front engine, all-wheel drive, and an 8-speed automatic transmission with a carbon fiber drive shaft. He's an alpha. But then again, so am I. I think we're gonna get along just fine.
You wanna sit next to me? Hey, girlfriend. Are you gonna sit next to me now?
No.
Will you sit next to James?
No.
No? Why not?
1, 2, 3.
An echo of an echo is the semblance of a sound, and I press and I've waited with my ear upon the ground. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, waiting in the willows with your autumn hair. Oh, lover, I'll see you there after many miles.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erin O'Valley.
And I'm James Morn.
And this week on MaineLife, we have a very special episode for you taking place here at Camp Sunshine.
And it's really a different take on what the outdoors in Maine can do for people. It's not just snowmobiling and tourism. There are some serious health and mental benefits to being outdoors.
And what better place to be than on Sebago Lake here in Casco, Maine, serving the outdoors for families all over the world whose children are dealing with life-threatening illnesses. And we've learned today that it's really an opportunity for them to enjoy the outdoors, enjoy each other, and take their minds off of the really hard times that they're dealing with.
It's great that Maine can be a healing agent for not just the children that are experiencing their sickness, but also the family. And we're going to hear from the siblings and from the moms and the dads that can escape sort of all the challenges that they're going through for just a split second. And there's no better place in Maine to do that.
And it literally begins when you walk through those 3 doors, small, medium, and large, and that represents the care that Camp Sunshine gives to the entire family, all for free.
Oh, God. Got it.
Chris?
Chris, what's your first name?
James.
James.
Ben.
Ben.
Thank you.
Dave.
Dave. James.
Okay, now to get your first name.
Erin.
Erin. Chris.
Mark.
Dave. Mark.
Bye.
Hi, Mark.
Today is my 11th birthday,
Yay.
so we've been coming here for a long time, and to be able to celebrate my 11th birthday at such a special place is like a dream come true.
We were kind of in and out of the hospital a lot, as most cancer families are, and the child life specialist said to us, "You're so energetic. You guys would be a great family to go up to Camp Sunshine." And we, of course, said, "What's Camp Sunshine?" They said it's a place where families come when their child has cancer or other life-threatening illnesses. And it is unique in that it's one of the very few places in the country where the whole family can come. So we came for the first time, and people say, "Camp, do you have to tent?" which when you have a child that's in the middle of chemotherapy, you cannot tent. So we came up, and Chris was only 4 and not really ready to acclimate with some of the other kids, but our other boys, Ben and Nick, were 6 and 8 at the time, and not only were the sick kids embraced, the siblings were as well. And when you're going through something like pediatric cancer, not only can you not do much because you're in and out of the hospital and you have one child that's sick and weak, your other kids can't do things because you can't take them. And that was one of the hardest things for me as a mom, to not be able to do the things I wanted to do with my other kids.
Well, you know, that's at least you see. I've never had a nickname. No one's ever called me anything but James, and I've always wanted a nickname. So now you guys have Jamie. Okay, I'll take whatever I can get.
Who is who?
It's sweet.
This is Tony?
I better not.
Are they both
Ooh.
nice? Hi, Tony. Hi, Bob.
Where are you guys from? Hawaii? Have you met Bob? Give it a kiss. It's okay. There's Bob. You just got kissed by a horse. Well, that's how horses kiss. There's a kiss. There's a horsey kiss. Can I get a horsey kiss? Yeah, yes. Thanks, Bob.
There's so much love for your kids. Your kids have a great time, but as a couple, we get to go snowshoeing across the lake. And you get to actually sit for a few minutes and talk, which you don't get to do at home. So, I don't know, it's 7 years since we've been coming up.
Say your lifers now, right?
And it's just, now we help out, now we embrace other families as they come up and kind of share the experience with them.
Everybody kind of is like really nice and not like grouchy and upset, and like occasionally there will be that one kid who's kind of grouchy, but usually they'll be cheered up by a counselor. Like, the counselors have that power and ability to make everyone happy.
And I think it was pretty hard to come up here the first time. You know, that whole thought process, like you mentioned, is tough to think about. Like, what is it going to be like? Why are we doing this? But come once.
And you will keep coming back. Come once and you will not want to leave. It's hard to make that first decision, but when you get here, it isn't a place of sadness. It's a place of so much fun and so much joy and so much love that you can't even explain it. It's this, you're now a Camp Sunshine family. You are a family.
It really does. Like, all that hair. You smell like hay on a farm.
I'm a proud sponsor of the Maine Women's Lobby. I'm Seth Rigoletti, leadership coach, and I want to thank the Maine Women's Lobby for their continuous leadership and empowerment of Maine women and girls.
My name is Kim Matthews, and I was the first chair of the Maine Women's Lobby. I went to the International Women's Year in Houston in 1977, and the lobby sort of formed after that with a group of women got together and decided that we needed to do something that goes beyond what we were talking about in Houston. And so the lobby started in 1978. I've recently gone back over some documents that I have from the early days, and it is amazing to me what we've done, what we have done, and what we did right at the beginning. I'm still very hopeful that things are going to continue to get better and better in terms of women's issues and just civil rights in general, because that's the way everything was moving until very recently, and I'm hoping that we can get back to that point. But it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, people have to get out and be active and be involved.
Years. Going to our 34th year. It's been amazing, and just to see the growth and be a part of it. It's been a privilege, an honor in working with these families and seeing their courage and the challenges that they go through and still come here and have smiling faces. It's inspiring to come to work each day. So what Maine has to offer here in the winter with the programs we have here, but also in the summer, we're on Sebago Lake, beautiful lake. We couldn't run this program without the volunteers. They come and they share their time, their talent, and their kindness with all our families. And in a typical year, we utilize between 2,000 and 2,500 volunteers to run this program. Each week, we bring in 95 volunteers, and they get trained each week, and a lot of them return year after year.
Hey, I want to hear what?
Gee!
And if they're going slow, I want to hear what?
Hey!
Wait a minute, guys. Okay? You're going to take the right one.
It was very difficult because I kept falling through the snow. Because it was like crusty on top, but not under it. Like certain spots you would fall, but your other foot would still be on top of the snow.
You know, it's such a special place, and it's kind of a scary thing to take the first leap to come here, but it is family. Once you get here, your kids will have a time like no other place, and you will actually get a little time to relax, and it's just fun.
When's the next time you come back?
June, or July. We're here in July for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
What do you like to do in the summer here?
I love to go out on the lake and boat on the lake.
It makes you appreciate life a little bit more. It also makes you appreciate other people and the amazing people that I've met here. It reaffirms your faith in humanity. It's people and families putting others before themselves and coming and giving their times. Oftentimes I talk to a lot of the volunteers here and that's what they share, that they got a lot more out of it than they gave.
Oh, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Good job, Chris.
All right, Chris. Home.
Yeah.
Come here.
Take her home. Take her home. All right, hit the brake. Excellent.
All right. Good job.
How was it, man?
Good.
Nice job, bud. Work.
Oh, cool.
It was fun. I hit the fence like 3 times. All right.
And probably the third key thing, that in order to have the program run, we need funds. So it's awareness, volunteers, and funds.
I feel like a kid again. This is great.
MaineLife. I went on crack. I would not win a gold.
Robert, is this your first time to Maine? Do you like it? Is this your first time on ice skates?
Wow.
Whoa.
You're good.
That's
You're good.
Crazy.
Ben, how long have you been a counselor?
This is my second time, so.
A little different?
Yes.
It took a long time for you to get here. How long? So you're the oldest?
Yes.
In the family of 3?
Yes.
How have you seen Camp Sunshine impact your family?
We've met lots of amazing people, and we're still friends with lots of families that we met from up here. Like we connect with them like outside of camp as well, you know.
Has it been a boost for your family spirits?
I think it has, yeah.
How about for Chris? How have you seen Camp Sunshine kind of change Chris?
He's gotten to feel a little sense of normalcy from being just the sick kid. You know, he's gotten to feel like a bit like a normal kid.
Do you want to do a duet like the Olympics? Oh no! Man down. When do you get to be a counselor?
16.
So
if
close?
You want to be.
What are you,
Are
14?
you going to want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about coming here? 21 times?
Something like that.
That's cool.
I think it's more like 16 or 17, but we just
Who's
round
counting?
up.
Well, how do you think it's changed your family?
Well, it's definitely a place that my mom and dad can express how they feel about this, about like the cancer situation, and they can express their feelings to other people that are going through the same thing, which is very helpful for them.
How about yourself? Have you been able to like deal with your brother being sick a little bit easier as being around other siblings?
Yes, definitely. It's kind of, you can see how other kids are, sometimes the other kids are worse or better, and it's kind of like you don't really know if your brother is one of those kids that's like bad about dealing with it, but it's kind of gotten to be like you think he's really good at it, and he's actually doing really good. So.
How long did it take you to get here?
Very long. I had to go on 3 planes.
Do you like Maine?
Yeah. It's way better than Florida.
Yeah.
Because we don't get any snow.
We have a very special guest with us here today, actually the president of Shipyard. Bruce, it's great being here. You've already poured us 2 wonderfully looking beverages that we're interested in partaking, but tell us a bit. You started with Fred in 1994.
Well, first, welcome to our tasting room.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. We have a state-of-the-art facility in this beautiful tasting room, which you're going to enjoy this afternoon with me.
Oh, very nice.
And I presented a couple beers just in case you're thirsty.
Oh, just in case we are, we certainly are. So you were the very first in Maine, right?
Well, we were the second brewery in Maine after Gary's Brewing Company.
Right,
which started in 1986.
Yeah.
We are the largest in Maine, and we are the 26th largest craft brewer in the United States.
That's incredible.
So how did you get into the beer brewing business?
By accident.
I like this already.
Yeah. No, my cousin Fred started the Federal Jack's Brew Pub in 1992. I came on board as a full-time volunteer, literally, to help, part of the all-volunteer army, as we call it.
That's right.
And I call it a career by accident, not by design. But here we are 25 years later, and Shipyard can be found in California, Key West, Florida, New York City, Chicago, and right here in Portland, Maine. So what I poured for you today is the original flagship of the Shipyard Brewing Company, Export Ale. Beautiful in color, clear, bright, vibrant, a little bit malty, and at the time, people thought it was a strong beer. It was 5% alcohol by volume, which at the standard of the time was a little bit rich or a little bit heavy. Fast forward 25 years to today, we have Finder. Now Finder is the style of beer that's very, very popular. It's called a New England style IPA. As you can see, it's very cloudy, unfiltered. We use what are called rolled oats to give it some mouthfeel, texture, and cloudiness. The beer is 7% alcohol by volume. Very hoppy, full of rich citrus and nose and piney floral aromas, and very smooth to drink and also quite strong. So there encapsulates 25 years the changes the beer consumer has evolved through.
You are a great salesperson, and I got to tell you got a great product there to sell. Love your passion.
Thank
Shall we
you.
drink to that?
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
He doesn't get one.
You were.
Bruce doesn't get one. Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, same to you, and to Shipyard.
Bruce, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for inviting us here to Shipyard. And coming up next, we'll be joined by Anthony Payne with MEMIC and Elizabeth Ross with BreakTogether.
I'm Dave Vasconcelos. I'm the Vice Chair on the Board of Junior Achievement of Maine, and I've been involved for about 6 years now, and our goal is really to teach financial literacy and entrepreneurship and be that first step of the ladder to workforce development in Maine. It is built for every grade level that there is, so there's a curriculum that's built by Junior Achievement, the national office, and it's shared with us, and it makes it really easy for volunteers to go into the classroom. So we work with the elementary schools, the high schools, the middle schools, then it goes up to the college years from there. So everyone is doing their part, and it's a stage, and we'd just like to be that first person through the door. You can learn more at jamaine.org.
Welcome back to What's Brewing. Today we're at Shipyard Brewing. In front of us are 4 very attractive brews, plus 2 wonderful guests who are here to talk to us about workplace satisfaction. Tony Payne from MEMIC, Elizabeth Ross from BreakTogether. Yeah, I always say breakthrough.
It's newer.
BreakTogether. That's
Both
great.
are good.
Yeah. So Tony, tell us a bit about, you've come full circle. I can remember when you started with MEMIC, and here you are again. We're glad to have you back. Tell us about MEMIC and what you do there.
Well, you know, the reason I came back to MEMIC is that it's a mission-driven company.
Yeah.
It's all about safety, and it's about basically making sure that people who come to work go home just as healthy, if not better, than when they arrived. To me, that's what really drives job satisfaction.
That's great. Elizabeth, tell us about the phrase, the implication of mindful pauses results in better work. That seems to be what your company is all about.
It
right?
is. So BreakTogether is breaking patterns that have kind of developed for us as a society of being always connected. And if you're always connected and you're not taking pause or breaking mindfully, then you're always reacting and not responding. And so in a work environment that can be a dangerous combination. And so working on helping people find space to pause and to think.
Can't we all use that?
Well, we can, absolutely.
Right. So when we talked to Bruce Forsley earlier today, we had asked him about workplace satisfaction and what is it that he has found over his years in the business that are of the utmost importance to his employees. So I'm curious, Tony, what your findings has been, particularly in MEMIC, and then to Elizabeth, I know you work with a lot of businesses. What is it that they're striving to do, or what have you found that they have identified as one of the top or few most important things in terms of workplace satisfaction?
You know, it's funny, at MEMIC, I think one of the real goals is, am I making a difference? Does what I do during the day actually move the needle in some direction that's positive? And that really, I think, is the takeaway for all of us. But there are other things, obviously, because, you know, moving the needle every day also takes a lot of energy. And when you are in those jobs, you want to know that you're being recognized for it. And I think employee recognition is really important as well, to have someone know and acknowledge that what you do is making a difference to the company, but most importantly to the customers that you serve.
I think people want to know a purpose and they want to be empowered. And I think in this world of being constantly connected, that we have a challenge with that. I think we've spent 30 years teaching people how to connect and not a lot of time teaching them the power of disconnecting for thought and for responding, like I said. So I think people can feel empowered, what I've found surprising in my work, in 30 seconds. So I'm on the phone with a customer that's really having a challenge, and I can take a deep breath and I can let that person talk, and then I can respond to them. Or I have 200 emails in my inbox, and I'm firing away at those, responding, trying to get back to everybody and be responsible. I can also pause before send. I can take that little break that I need and come back and read it again and pause before send. I find that to be really
great.
useful.
Actually, I was thinking Quincy and I when you said about stress, because we may.
We're like,
when's your
tell
next
us more.
workshop?
Tell us more. We're all stressed.
Yeah, well, that's right. When's your next workshop? We want to sign up for that.
I'll let you know. So before we wrap up here, I just have a final question for you both. What would be your call to action to whether it be the businesses you work with, the employees at MEMIC? Both of you do such wonderful work around safety and wellness in the workplace. So I think it would be really interesting for our viewers to hear what's top of mind. What's your call to action?
You know, I think at MEMIC, it's always the same. It's always renew your commitment to safety. Make sure that people have safety on their mind when they start their day, and that they review and say to themselves, what could I have done differently at the end of the day? The other piece, though, is what Elizabeth is involved in, is wellness. Wellness really has everything to do with the quality of your work. If you're not feeling well, if you're not really at top performance, you're something less than you want to be. And so diet and exercise is no great mystery. Those are the things that are going to make people better and make Maine's workforce better.
That's great. Elizabeth?
I would say the power of unplugging. If you could do one thing, realize that unplugging doesn't have to be 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That's how I started, and I realized people feel overwhelmed even thinking about 10 minutes. So it's 2 minutes or 1 minute. And if you could do one thing in your workplace, start a meeting unplugged. Throw a stack of thank you notes on the conference table, and on your next meeting, ask everyone to start the meeting with a minute of gratitude and write a thank you note to somebody who's not expecting it. So do that one thing. Start unplugged.
To that I say, or we say, amen, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm not sure amen and beer goes together, but nevertheless, it works in this occasion, right?